Making a crusty artisan loaf that's gluten-free, doesn't contain any added starches, it's whole grain, no eggs, no dairy, no added seeds, is really not as hard as you'd think. And so I'm going to show you how to do that today with Jovial's No. 2 whole grain bread flour. There is one catch though. You're going to have to bake the bread in a Dutch oven that you've preheated at 500 for about an hour before you bake the bread. First, add 3 cups of warm water to a mixing bowl and whisk in 2 teaspoons of dry active yeast. Add 5 1/4 cups of No. 2 whole grain bread flour and 1 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Then whisk that together till the dough is kind of smooth. And then add 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Let the dough rise for 45 minutes. Punch down the dough by mixing it up with a spoon till you've deflated all of the dough. Then, in order to give it a little bit of a lighter crumb, mix a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda into 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. Mix the baking soda and vinegar into the dough and stir very well to combine. To shape the loaf, you're going to spoon the dough onto a piece of parchment paper and start to shape it into a round. Then use a small offset spatula to smooth out the surface. Dust the top of the loaf with a little bit of flour, which is going to really give it that artisan touch. It'll look really nice and rustic when you take it out of the oven. To transfer the loaf to the pot, just pick it up with the parchment paper and drop it in. Cover the pot and bake the loaf for 45 minutes. Lift the loaf out with a spatula, place it on a wire rack, and let that cool completely. I know that can be hard because you really want to slice into warm bread, but with gluten-free it's really important that it cools completely. That will take about 2 to 3 hours. Even better to leave it out overnight and then slice it in the morning. The crust is nice and crispy, but the inside stays nice and moist and it doesn't crumble. What's different about this gluten-free bread is it's actually real bread. It's just made with flour and water, and so it's not pasty in your mouth. You can toast it, you can freeze it, it will stay fresh at room temperature for 2 or 3 days. It gives you that hearty European style bread that you've probably been longing for in gluten-free. It's a wrap!